and unifying vision of labor, grounded in grassroots organizing, coalition building, and political action, Fabrizo Sasso!
Where are my working people at? Who's a worker out here? Who works for a living? I don't think there's too many 1%ers out here now. Fucking Sacramento! You know, today we gather not in mourning, but in fucking rebellion. This is no King's Day. This is not a holiday. This is a declaration. It's not a celebration. This is a fucking confrontation. It's a confrontation with the idea that some people are born to rule and the rest of us are born to obey. They get some yachts and some stock options, and the rest of us get eviction notices and 2 jobs that don't pay the rent. So let me say it plain. No kings means no dictators, no authoritarians, no fascists, no tyrants. There are no kings in a democracy. There are only workers. There are only people. And if the people don't rule, then we don't live in a democracy. We live under an empire of billionaires in business suits and landlords with God complexes, of politicians too scared and too bought to serve the working class. And the only value they live by is greed. But today we say no more, no mas. We say fuck kings. Fuck kings. And we say fuck Trump. Fuck Trump. Because our country was founded on freeing ourselves from the tyranny of kings. The founders of our democracy knew what they were facing, but they were willing to sacrifice their lives to escape from tyrannical rule. In their time, they were considered treasonous, not heroes. They were considered terrorists, not revolutionaries. Come to this country and search an American dream, and that dream has been denied. Because ICE, the National Guard, and the military might someday end up in your front yard. Because working people can't pay the rent, they can't retire or afford health care. So let me ask this, is it time for a revolution? Yeah! Well, I'd like to posit that we've already lived through one revolution in our lifetimes, and Trump is the final result of this revolution's success. I'm talking about the now 50-plus year-long, slow, drawn-out process, this fascist revolution created by the corporate capitalist class to redistribute power and wealth out of the working class to corporate overlords. The corporate capitalist elites, motivated solely by greed, have systemically attempted to dismantle every piece of our democracy over the past 5 decades. And they've been smart about it too. They knew the best way to shift the power balance was to divide us along the same diverse lines that we used to celebrate in this country. So this is how it happened. This was their plan. Their first step, they've come after organized labor, being one of the few powerful institutions with enough resources to keep their agenda in check. They enact laws like right to work, they buy off members of Congress and state houses to pass laws that erode workers' rights. The next step, they start the culture wars, dividing us on issues like abortion and immigration, LGBTQ+ rights, attacking social justice laws meant to create equity and equality for our most vulnerable and disenfranchised groups. Their next step, they build mistrust in government, intentionally defunding departments and programs to prove their ineffectiveness, and then to privatize them so that the wealthy can profit from them. There's no better example of this than selling out our children's future by defunding education in favor of parasitic for-profit charter schools, or eliminating HUD programs created to help people afford housing and shifting those dollars to greedy landlords, or allowing healthcare CEOs to continue to receive outrageous bonuses while the cost of grandma's meds go up, and healthcare wages go down, and millions are denied care, and millions more die because of a lack of coverage, all in the name of the mighty dollar. Their next step was they convinced the American public that all of this was good for us by sneakily changing the way we talk about these things. They use fear words like socialism when talking about public goods and services such as schools and roads, Social Security, Medicare, and even firefighters. They soften words like greedy fucking blood-sucking landlords to housing providers, or for-profit charter schools to parent choice. The next step is that they knew that the American public wouldn't buy this craziness at first, and for a while we didn't. But they invested in the long term. They made incremental changes to laws that allowed them to infiltrate our media and elections, and they pounded that message constantly over the years. So much so that what was once considered anti-American rhetoric became normalized and accepted by more and more people. And they've been so successful in their mission, that even Democrats shifted their ideology by embracing pieces of their agenda. We call them moderates, we call them mods, but really they are spineless pawns in the far-right agenda destroying our country. And you need look no further than local and state government, where Democrats incentivize greed by providing welfare subsidies to billionaires in the name of economic development. They lower affordable housing requirements so that the rich developer can pencil out their 20% profit margin. They block the expansion of Medicare for all so that insurance companies can put the working class deeper into debt. And they fuck over workers by siding with the business class over the working class, selling out pieces of the social safety net to private companies. Well, I got one question for the mods. Which side are you on? You are part of the problem, and you need to get the fuck out. Fuck you! Just look around you, everyone. Do you think this system is working? Do you accept a system where in the richest country in the history of the world, people live in tents while luxury condos sit empty and continue to be subsidized by local governments? Do you think we should be denying life-saving care to people who need it while insurance executives give themselves bonuses? Do we believe in people over profit? Do we believe that if you worked hard all your life, you're entitled to retire with dignity? Do we believe that healthcare is a human right? Do we believe that housing is a human right? Do we believe that our immigrant communities make this country great? Well, guess what? Guess what? Trump and Musk, they don't. But there are more of us than there are of them. And they know it. So the final step in their grand plan, that was to put this fucking buffoon who would embody this evil plan and bring this revolution to a full realization. Trump is the final boss in this video game we call American democracy. And what he's doing today is the culmination of 50 years of work to redistribute power to the very few, billionaires and the capitalist class. And it's sad to say that many of us went along with it for so many years, so long as it didn't impact us in a way that disrupted our lives to an intolerable point. But now people are waking up to the reality that freedom was never a guaranteed right in this country. It was a privilege. And privileges can be taken from you anytime if you're caught sleeping. So I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're letting your voices be heard now. But let me say this. The labor movement's been fighting against this process from the very beginning. You see, the labor movement wasn't built in the boardrooms. It was born in the fields, in the factories, in the mines, and in the streets. We come from the Haymarket rebels in Chicago who demanded an 8-hour workday and were met with bullets. We come from the women of the 1912 Bread and Roses strike who said, we want not just to survive, but to live. We come from Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta, organizing farm workers in the shadows of California fields, some of the most exploited people in America who showed us that courage grows even under the hot sun of injustice. We come from people who understood something deep, that our lives are on the line, our families are on the line, and our only solution is to break free from the chains that keep us down. And those chains look different now. They may come with a badge and a budget. They may come in the form of rent due on the first, or a boss who schedules you without notice, or a governor who thinks that dragging workers back into the office will fix capitalist problems downtown. But chains are chains, and we are done wearing them. So the American labor movement continues to be the first, best, and last line of defense in resisting fascism. And our work continues to this day as federal workers fight to keep their jobs and their union, as our nurses and healthcare unions fight for Medicare for all, as our service workers unions fight to defend the rights of our immigrant brothers and sisters like my friend, President of SEIU California and SEIU USWW, David Huerta, who was arrested at the Battle of Los Angeles last week. The work of the labor movement, the work that we're doing is not new, but it's still radical. It ties directly back to the foundation of this country, that the pursuit of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is a constant struggle, a struggle that concludes by intersecting social and economic justice. And like those forefathers, organized labor knows, and you all know, who's running things. It's the same very few people every time. We got BlackRock, we got Amazon, Elon Musk, Walmart, Trump. They're not fucking geniuses. They're not innovators. They're hoarders. And they've made a religion out of greed. And they bought up our homes. And they bought up our politicians. And they bought up our news. But have they bought us? No! Have they bought us? No! Because we are not for sale. Angela Davis once said, you have to act as if it were possible to radically transform the world, and you have to do it all the time. And that's why we're here today. Not just to resist the kings of democracy, but to dismantle the throne altogether. We don't want a slightly more diverse ruling class. We don't want a better billionaire. We want something entirely different. We want worker power. We want people power. We want collective ownership. We want a democracy that doesn't stop at the ballot box, but extends to the workplace, to the neighborhood, and in the street. And you don't have to carry a union card to do it. Well, not yet, but hopefully you will. And you just have to know that this system is broken and that the working people like you and me deserve better. Because we're not divided by race or language or status. We are united by class. We are united by struggle. We are united by a dream bigger than any of us alone. Now I'm going to say something that might ruffle a few feathers around here, but rallies like this can be a bit performative. Let's be real about it. We chant, we hold our little signs, we post the pictures on social media, and it feels like a movement, and sometimes it is. But if we leave here today and go home and turn on the news and sit on the couch angry until the next day. We're just rehearsing our own powerlessness. So the revolution must start with you, all my friends. It has to be a personal revolution, a revolution of the mind. While many of our friends and neighbors are being imprisoned for their status, for standing up and speaking out against injustice, many more are imprisoned by their own fear, imprisoned by their own inaction, and imprisoned by their own mind. You have to revolt against your fear and find courage. You have to revolt against your mind's understanding of the status quo, because the game is now changed completely. You have to revolt against your inaction by doing more. And in fact, it's your responsibility to do more. It says it right there in the founding document of our democracy, the Declaration of Independence. It says, when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government. All that means is if you can do something, it's your responsibility to do something about it.
With the multi-party system!
So today can't be the day that ends your participation. This has to be the beginning of your transformation, because democracy is not a spectator sport, and citizenship is not a hobby. And if change doesn't come from attendance, it comes from action. And so if you're serious about building a world without kings, then you need to do more than just cheer. You need to organize. Say it with me. Organize.
Organize!
Organize.
Organize!
Organize.
Organize!
If you want to fight to stop families being ripped apart by Trump, you should donate and volunteer and help organizations like NorCal Resist, who do amazing work around immigration. If you want to end Trump's corporate agenda that has diseased every level of government, from school boards to city and county boards to the state and federal levels, donate, volunteer, work with organizations like Organize Sacramento. If you want to be fighting on the ground for economic justice for all workers, push back against Trump's billionaire agenda to sell out our democracy, there's no better place to do it than your local Central Labor Council. And if you're interested, you should go to that blue tent back there and sign up, and we will put you on a list, and we will give you information on how you could join the fight, or you can follow us on our socials, Sacramento Labor. Because we're building real campaigns, and we're not looking for heroes, we're looking for people willing to show up. So if you're ready to move from the crowd to the front lines, if you're ready to turn anger into action, if you're ready to build this movement, this revolution together, then come find us. Join us, stand with us, because the throne won't fall by itself, but together we can build a better place.
Joe, we need a medic near the truck. We need a medic near the truck. We need a medic near the truck, in the back of the truck. We need a medic in the back of the truck. They got it. Thank you. You can continue with your speaking now. Thank you.
Let's hope everyone's okay. Everyone, we're here for peaceful demonstration. Say it with me. We are here for peaceful demonstration. So, no kings. Except the Sacramento Kings, right? But no kings, no tyrants, no fascists. It's just us. It's just us with our collective action, our hope and vision for a better future. So does our revolution